I can hear you. I can't see you.
I don't know. I don't know if it's my settings but
Is that deliberate?
no, it's not actually. It's not. I don't know. I don't know why I'm not.
Is it your network?
No, it can't be. I don't think it's my network.
Okay. I'm trying to check my own network as well because never can trust these things. Can you see me? Are you able to see me? Hello? No, I can't see you. Can you see me? Wow. Interesting. So 1 minute. But guys, if you can see Dele, then that'll be fine, right? If you can see Dele, if you can see Dele, right, that will be fine. So I really don't, not that I don't need to see him, but it's fine if I can't see him. But if you guys can see him, then that's fine. Dele, do you have troubles trying to? Do you have challenges trying to log on? Because what we can do is log off and log back on.
Can you see me now?
Fantastic. Yes, I can see you now. Maybe not the smoke. Maybe not the smoke.
No, really. I've not. Sorry, I actually had to come into the car to hide because my wife is walking off from home, and my son is giving wahala. So I just said I should come and sit down outside a bit. I should sit down in the car.
Okay. Wow.
Hopefully we'll get to clear.
Oh boy, na COVID.
Oh, is the I thought the reception should be good here.
Yes, when you are outside, the bandwidth may be a little bit.
I'm actually parked right beside where the Wi-Fi whatever is, so it's just the wall blocking us. So it's not honestly, like
it's now getting better, honestly. Like say they drive self.
I just moved the car there where the Wi-Fi server there. I just reversed, yeah.
It makes sense. Good to see you, Dele. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
So before you came, right, I was trying to tell people why we are doing this, right? It's just so that we continue to hammer education and why it is necessary to get not formal education per se, but the right attitude in playing cricket first, right?
Yeah.
And these are the things we look out for at IMCC. And we thought, what, we are a lot of us are professionals, and we know we've got the right attitude and the right education to a certain degree. But cricket is not just about us. It's about, there is a big family out there. There are people we can learn from, and that's why we said, what, let's talk to everyone and let's say how people's perspective about cricket and things, and maybe that would also spur people on. So
yeah, let me just make a brief comment before we move on.
Wait. I did not collect this card from my hand, though. Now me or now? Let me get up.
No, I don't go collect them. IMCC as a club. I first ran into IMCC as a club in 2010 season, and was impressed with what you have just stated. Is what really impressed me. As at that time in the league, I could only compare two teams. I was playing for FCC at the time, and IMCC reminded me of a young FCC. An FCC of maybe 10, 15, 20 years before. Young boys or young men coming together to form a cricket club, all of them professionals and all. And even the quality of cricket that was being played by a lot of the people in the team at the time was quite impressive. Because IMCC was the only team that used to give us grief. at the time then. And for me, it was really, I was, how will I put it? It's not because I'm on the platform, but I was a quiet supporter, because I always believed that they will get to Division 1 and they will do well. But, you know, they made it to Division 1 and we know what the story was. But all in all, I really give kudos to the Taps there for keeping up the good work. They've really tried. They've tried over the years, and kudos to them. And kudos to you guys for setting up this platform. It's for conversations and interviews. It's really, I feel honored and privileged to be here as well. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Dele. That was very good. I'm sure a lot of guys are listening and they would pick that up. So, Dele, people have mentioned your names in this place. So I see your name in this place. Some people said, "Oh, when I started, I saw Dele. When I started cricket, I saw Dele." Tell us, how did you start? How did cricket come to you, or how did you go to cricket? Because some people,
it's a story that started maybe 21 years. What am I saying? 31 years ago.
Wow.
31 years ago. So it was my elder brother Olu, who lives in London but has refused to come and play for London Nigerians. My elder brother Olu, and he went to UI as well. So I kind of have a connection with UI. Yeah. I kind of have a connection with UI based on him. And my elder brother Olu was in St. Gregory's College, and I remember in his junior years, he was coming home talking about this game, cricket. So we were both, he was in GS3 going to SS1. I was in my last year in primary school. We just finished exams, and they were having a novelty cricket match in St. Gregory's College between King's College Old Boys and St. Gregory's College Old Boys. And you know, the likes of Ogbefi, Alex Nwokedi, Alex Quist, Philip Asiodu, Osato Giwa, Osage. There's all these old Nigerian cricket. Rex Akofure, I think, was there to watch. John Abebe, Justice Vivo, all of them were there to play in this game. And it was a new game to me, and I was just watching on the sidelines from Greg's by the dining hall where me and my brother were. And this is the person that really got me interested in the game. George Wilshire came in to bat for Greg's Old Boys. At that time, George Wilshire was a Nigerian international, and I didn't know. I just felt, who's this guy that is just, you know, he was thumping the ball everywhere around the ground, thumping the ball into a ball, into the barracks. And he had a hat on at the time, and there was a Cobra on it, and everybody just used to call him Cobra. So I used to call him Cobra. I knew him as Cobra first before I later came into cricket. So that's how I got introduced to the game. I went home because GS3 closes early and primary 6 close early. Over the long holidays, my brother started teaching me cricket. By the time I got into St. Gregory's in my GS1, I basically started practicing with everybody. So it was an early introduction for me. Then in Ikoyi, growing up in Ikoyi, we used to play cricket. My brother introduced the game in Ikoyi, so people in the compound used to play. We lived in the block on flats in Ikoyi, similar to the ones you have in UI campus.
UI. Yeah.
Yeah. And those flats, and you know, that's family, 6 children, the same age group and everything. Olu basically taught all of us. And by the time we got into Greg's, myself and Wale Daudu and Omodia Ogodu and also we were like 4 junior boys who played, and then you 6 and lower 6 people. So these were balls, you know, when they put on socks, you see the hair coming out of the socks. Jide Morgan, Moses Gobadia, Ossi, you know, they taught us the game in a very, very hard way. Then in the end of our GS1, Olu refined it, brought 22 of us together, played our first cricket match, 20 overs. First team scored 10 runs, second team scored 9 runs, and that's how all of us just took to the game. And cricket became a big thing in Greg's. Basically, that's how I got introduced to the game. I got introduced at a very early age. I have pictures of me holding the cricket bat when I was 12. So,
yeah, that was interesting. And your story is not similar, but I've had something similar before from you. We both know McKay, who said at Ikoyi that an older brother would pick all of them up and say, "Okay, throw the ball to me," and you know, and all that. Yeah, so it's the same kind of setting. So I kind of understand that the setup. So that's
why I became That's why I became a bowler in my earlier years, because Olu taught me how to bowl and used to like batting. So I basically just used to bowl to Olu before I now took up batting later on in secondary school.
Okay, fantastic. So we were in Ibadan, right? And you were in Lagos doing your thing, and somehow I knew your name, but I didn't know who you were, because one, I knew your brother Dele Oshodi from UI. He was probably in 700 level when I was in 100 level. So, but because of the number of years in College of Medicine, so I still played with him. I think it was pre-Waug, Sheget, so he was still around. Even though,
were you in the gold-winning Waug team too?
No, I wasn't. So this Waug was between. So I don't know. It was a daft competition then, because for us to qualify, we have to play against Unilag, because Unilag was in the same.
Oh yeah, that's when you guys got knocked out. Yeah, I remember that one.
So we got knocked out by Unilag, so we didn't go. So anyway, so university, I thought at some point maybe you were going to join us in UI because of your brother, but we really did not hear much about you in the university days.
It's sad. I think that was one of the saddest parts of it, but I have no regrets. Yeah. I actually was going to get admission to come into UI at the time. Yeah. So I actually was going to get admission to come into UI. So my first choice was pharmacy. I think I scored maybe 220 something, 228 in JAMB, and I couldn't get into
but that
pharmacy.
Was good enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the story, that pharmacy was quite high at the time. I didn't want to do medicine like my brothers, because both brothers went to UI. So I remember we went to the pharmacy department. They said I can't get into pharmacy, one thing. And then even the rush of students around, the people trying to rush into university in those days was really amazing. So basically what happened was, I told my father at the time that let's go to the sports council.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say that.
Council. So we went to the sports council. The office, it's not too far from where the cricket pitch was. It was just down the road where the athletics track was, beyond the basketball court that was in the wooden building there. We walked in there, we met the director of sports. This was in 1996, if I remember quite correctly. 95 or 96. So we walked in there, and the guy saw me and immediately recognized, "How should you? What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm looking for admissions and so and so and so." They said, "Okay, what did you get in JAMB?" I said, "I scored this." Sorry, I scored 218 in that JAMB. I didn't score 220. I scored 218. So he said, "What course did you put in for?" I said, "Pharmacy," but they're saying I can't get in pharmacy, and my second choice is geology. And I wanted to study geology. Geology was actually because I wanted to study, but because my mom was a pharmacist, I just said, let me just honor her and go that way. So everybody said, if you don't want to do medicine, do pharmacy. So I told him my second choice is so he said geology. Geology is, the cutoff for geology was, I think, 221 or 220.
That's also bad as well.
Yeah. So he now says, well, the best option for me is to get into geography. And after I spend a year in geography, I would cross over into geology. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll do that. So technically, I was already supposed to come into Ibadan. So when my father and I left the sports council, we now went to see my brother. Oh, we came home because Olu just finished second MB then. He just finished the exam. So he was at home. He just finished some exams. So he was So we traveled back to Lagos. And I tell him that, listen, UI said, the guy in sports said he will help me out and stuff. You know, I said, okay, what's the story? He said I should get into geography first. Then when I finish in geography, when I do a year in geography, I'll cross over to geology. And my brother just said, that is the oldest trick in the book. Geography is the easiest department to get into and is the hardest department to get out of in UI. Do not go into geography if you don't want to study geography. And I was looking, I had an uncle who was a professor in Akure at the time. And I just went, okay, fine, no hassles. And that's how my uncle collected it. I had good scores, and I got into, because FUTA was my second choice university. So I got into applied geology in FUTA, and basically that's how my stay away from cricket started. Yeah, UI cancelled and my stay away from cricket.
It was so for me, right? I didn't go to a cricket playing secondary school, so I had to make it up to go to a university that plays cricket. So when I was having issues, even as a UI inside CACOS, as I was having issues, right, in my head I was thinking, like, I'm not going to go to a school where they don't play cricket, because I don't want to miss out a second time. Then I've missed out finally. So
true.
So for me, anything that came for me, I was ready to take it just to play cricket, and that was it. Truthfully, so I know your struggle. I heard about your struggles at FUTA in terms of trying to play cricket. You and Kayode Shiobola, I think, and some other guys.
There was a guy, myself, Kayode Shiobola. Shiobola went to GCI. He played against me in Kings. Then Deji Ogunobi from Igbobi College. He was 96 set Igbobi. He played cricket in Igbobi as well. So we're the only three.
Yeah, so how come you guys couldn't make up a team or couldn't come up with something?
In FUTA, they say it's Federal University of Tension and Agodi. Number one, the biggest problem we had was equipment, and we didn't have enough equipment. At the time, Shiobola and I were trying to. At the time, Shiobola and I were trying to do the cricket thing. Shiobola was in like his final year, I think, or penultimate year, and I think Shiobola was in his final year at the time.
Okay.
It was late. It was late into my stay in Akure, and the crazy thing about it was that cricket was being played in Akure and I didn't know. Do you get my point?
Wow.
Because there was a former assistant national team coach and national team player, Shineba Shnoy, who was in Akure. Do you get me? There was this other guy who used to play for FCC. There was another guy who used to play for FCC. I don't know if you remember when Ondo State Cricket Association had a team playing in the league.
No, I know they had a cricket team at some point, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they used to travel from Akure for games. So I wasn't even aware at this time, because to be honest with you, I stopped playing cricket in the last game I played. When I finished secondary school, I stayed away from the pitch till 1996 season. I played maybe 5 games and I walked away from the game. And I didn't come back to the game until the first London Nigeria tour. That was the first time I came back to TBS. The first LNCC tour in 2000.
Yeah.
That was when I first came to the pitch, and I now joined up back with FCC at the time. But Ondo State, there was cricket being played. They had cricket pitches in Ondo State, but I wasn't well aware. And to be honest with you, maybe I was a bit too preoccupied with other things in university at the time. But towards my later years, when things started happening, Shiobola wanted us to start the game. Equipment was very hard to find in Nigeria. So who are we going to get to give us equipment? The university did not have a clue.
So somebody just pointed out that at that point, there was another GCI player who was in Kings 1993. I think he was even their captain, Komo. He was actually in FUTA as well.
I know Komo now.
Yeah. So he was in FUTA. He was their wicketkeeper and captain as well.
Komo was in geophysics. We played basketball together. I never knew he played cricket.
So reason why I asked about this was because we had similar issues, right? But in our own side, we had the cricket pitch. There were no equipment, or maybe there were 1 or 2 equipment, but it wasn't solid, right? And we had to raise a team. Sometimes we had to have Ajao would travel to Lagos to go and play in the league and bring us balls. I remember there was a day, there was a period where we were using hockey balls to play cricket. So in my head, we we struggled, but we had to bring, we had to fight it out within ourselves to say, you know what, we want to play. So I think for you guys, maybe the appetite wasn't there, or you guys had no facility, pitch wasn't there.
Really, what? No, we had. Funny enough, I'll come back to what you were talking about, going TBS and stealing balls and everything. But like in Futa's own perspective, we had practices.
Yeah.
We had practices. So I don't remember which Nuga it was. There was a Nuga that was coming up. And
I think it was you, I Nuga.
So we had people. We had people come around. We brought people together. Shinobola and I remember we were practicing in the rain on a particular day. Because what we used to do was we'd go. Futa had a lot of lawn tennis courts, beautiful lawn tennis courts. So we'd go to the lawn tennis courts and we'd use them as training nets. And that was when myself and Shiobola used to practice. And the crazy thing about it was that while we were practicing, Deji will come, one person will come, another person will come. And what we're trying to do was just get a team together. Then, that was how we found out about the boys, the Aquinas boys and everything that were in SLT and all whatnot. And we were trying to put a team together. We spoke to the sports council people about, sports director, like, sponsor a cricket team to Nuga. Do you understand me? We can do it. And at this time, myself and Shiobola, I don't know, myself and him were very close friends from my first year. And he never, I think I only found out he went to GCI maybe in year 2. When I was in year 2 and he was in year 3. Then I only found out that he played cricket when he was looking at starting a cricket team. That was how crazy he was. So, in all honesty, my going to Futa was like, it was like exile. It was like an exile from the game for me. And as I said, I left the game an angry person at the time when I left in '96. I wasn't very happy. So I kind of turned my back on cricket at that time, which I regret till this day. But
so let's go back to club cricket. So after university, you came to London.
Yeah.
Was that it? And from London, you came back to Nigeria. So the London issue is something different. We're going to talk about London, but I want to talk about the Nigerian cricket first, right? So when you came into Nigeria cricket,
I didn't come to London first because I played a bit of league cricket in Nigeria before I traveled back. I came back to cricket.
What team?
So I played for FCC for 1 season or half a season basically. I joined them end of the season. I played for KC Old Boys for 2 seasons.
Okay.
Then I got posted to Abuja. I did my NYC in Abuja. So there was no cricket, but I was opportune to watch a lot of the sports festival games that were going on in Abuja then. I watched a few sports festival games. Then I came back to Nigeria. I came back to Lagos. Then I went to Ireland first for 2 years.
Okay.
For close to 2 years. So I played in Ireland for 2 years.
Oh yes, I remember you will always talk about Ireland. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I played for 2 years in Ireland. Then I went to Newcastle. I played for the University of Newcastle. Then I played for 2 clubs, Allendale Cricket Club and is it Old Kingstonians or Old Kingstonians Cricket Club in Newcastle?
But that would have been in London. Yeah.
Oh, I played in the Tyneside and something Ware League. I played in Newcastle. I played a season there. Then I played my first match for London Nigerians coming in from Newcastle on my birthday. So we played against them, India Gymkhana.
Okay.
My first
I played one of those games. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to go back to the league in Nigeria, right? You played for FCC. I think that was the time you captained FCC, isn't it?
Yeah, I was vice captain of the club. Then I was playing captain. I was captain on the field for 1 season in Division 1. Then I remained vice captain and I was playing captain for a season in Division 2.
So, so coming from London back into the league, how did it feel for you? What experiences did you bring into? Sorry, playing Ireland, playing in Newcastle, playing in London, then coming to Nigeria to come and play. What was the experience? What did you bring back from that journey?
The only regret was I was too old when I came back. I was over 33 also.
Okay.
How old was I? I think I was maybe 33 or 32, going on 33 when I came back. But it was good experience. And maybe that's what has changed my direction from being majority a player to being actively involved in player development and helping people develop themselves. There was a lot of experience, I played under a lot of good coaches. I played with people who played in the World Cup. I used to open the bowling with the guy who opened for Ireland in the World Cup. So I learned a lot as a bowler when I was in Ireland. I was more of a bowler in Ireland than in England, if you remember. But most people who remember me in Nigeria pre-then knew me as a batsman. So yeah, so I did a lot of bowling in Ireland and England. And when I came back, the first thing I started doing was, teaching young kids how to bowl right, I'd always been doing that, I remember a young Chibike Eku. So just teaching kids how to bowl right and, trying to pass down the knowledge. And FCC at the time, it was not a very popular club amongst the young generation in Nigeria. It was really difficult. The only club that used to have regular team practices and all was Ibejuleki, and no outsider could go and practice with Ibeju at the time. So I think I was one of the first few people to, I remember having practice sessions in the field with Chimezie, GCI boys, FGC Warri boys, everything. So I kind of threw myself at everybody, and I didn't pick the club at the time. But, I saw Oris and, FCC still there. We need players, we need people. And that's how I joined up with FCC. I bowled, we got relegated that season. And by the next AGM, I was elected as the playing captain. And that was how, qualified them from Division 2 back to Division 1, kept them in Division 1. But it's mainly, there's a lot of experience that I learned. There are a lot of things I learned, even like Marquet. Roland. I used to play for Roland's club. I used to learn a lot from what's the name of the club? Richmond CC.
Is that Richmond CC? I know Nico played for them as well.
I used to play in the first team with Roland for Richmond. I even used to open the bowling for them. Sheen Park, sorry. Sheen Park Cricket Club. How can I forget? Not Richmond, Sheen Park. So I used to open the bowling for Sheen Park. Then when Roland left, I just stayed away. So there was experience that I could pass down, and I tried. In this game, you mature through time. So I think I was a bit immature
there. So when you said you went back to Nigeria and you started training people, even when I met you in London, because I think meeting you in London was my first time of seeing you. You get. And you were also teaching me things. You were also telling me things, even though sometimes I feel like knocking your head, but I know Sanofi trying. But I could see that in you. I could listen to you. All you were telling me, all you were saying was consistent and was true. If I could do what you were saying, they were really helpful. But one thing you did for me, right? And I actually forgot, right? And I was going to go downstairs and bring my bat from the garage. Is that you gave me a Grey Nichols bat. The bat was bigger than me. In my head, I was thinking, why this guy give me this bat? So why did you? Yeah, you gave me a Grey Nichols bat, right? And I'm asking, up to today, I still ask myself, why did he give me that bat? Right. So you can't remember, right?
I honestly can't remember. If I wish I had the bat now.
I thought you were leaving. I thought you were leaving, and you thought you were leaving. You knew you were leaving, and you thought, you know what? Let me get rid of all these things, and Odepii, take this bat to correct bats, And I think that was
But you know, then even when you came, remember now,
Yeah.
remember when you were fresh off the boat in London and everything, like things were, you know, you were settling in. You wanted to bat, you wanted to bowl. I remember the determination. I want bowl, I want bowl, I want bowl. Sometimes it's the encouragement. You kind of try and encourage people. Like you talk about me giving you a bat, but I came back to Nigeria when I was maybe 6 bats at the time. Some of them I still have now. So I think it was more and me leaving London was one of the saddest moments for me, because I had really gotten really used to playing cricket with LNCC. I enjoyed the companionship in LNCC. And you were a younger bro. You know, I don't think I had played maybe 2 years with LNCC at the time. I was playing my second year when you joined in my first year.
Yeah.
Or fully played for LNCC. So myself and yourself basically joined together in those winter nets. But it's just, you try and encourage people. If you still have the bat, you can send it down. We need bats here.
Yeah, honestly speaking, right? I was telling myself today, right, that if I ever go back to Nigeria, I need to remember to pick that bat with me. And I'm going to go back to you to say, this is the bat you gave me a long time ago. Even though you will notice that bat, nothing has happened to it. The bat is still as
That's why I want it back, because I know you can't use it to save your life.
So I was saying I was going to go back to you and say, Dele, this is not the bat you give me, and I want to give back this bat to somebody else. That will you say yes to that?
I will, because you see, I don't know, Matt Condotti kind of requested for bats from LNCC last year, and we're able to put those bats together, and basically it's the young kids that are going to have to use them. We got new bats for the club, but we have a lot of young kids who want to play. And you know, you will be shocked if I show you some of the bats that were given to us. Now, this is how crazy it is. In the process of trying to refurbish those bats, I discovered like a talent in bat making. A young boy, Karim Ayoku. And myself and himself, you know, would sit down, would look at the bat and would discuss, this is what we want to do. This is what how we have to repair it. And Ayoku would take the bat. Ayoku is only 17 or 16 now. Ayoku would take the bat. He would even go to the sawmill at Ebute Meta or Ebute Ero in Lagos Island. He would repair the bat. If I show you some of those bats now, I know one of those bats belongs to Adi Ojomo.
Okay.
If he sees that bat, Bros OJ, if Bros OJ sees that bat, he will ask for it back. So, you know, it was so, okay. I'll give you my first cricket bat. How did I get it? I was playing by the pavilion with my brother. My brother was throwing down to me, and I was batting. And the late Chris Enahoro. This was in 1989. They just finished playing the National League finals. Lagos and Kaduna. Lagos had beaten Kaduna in the finals. So after the game, myself and my brother were just doing throwdowns, and I was batting.
Yeah.
And I was a 10-year-old batting. And Chris Enahoro just looked at me and goes, "Young boy, come here." And I'm like, "Yeah, good evening, sir." This was about maybe 5:30 in the evening. "Good evening, sir." He said, "What's your name?" I said, "Dele Oshodi." He said, "Who taught you how to play cricket?" I said, "It's my brother." Now goes, "Okay, come with me." And he walks with me to his car. He used to drive a red 505 then. And he opens his boot. He brings out a Grey Nichols bat. I'll never forget. Old Grey Nichols bat with a black grip. And he signs it.
Interesting.
And that was the bat Chris Enahoro used to score 169 runs against the Gold Coast in 1967. Wow. And he gave me that bat.
Yeah.
And so it was...
Yeah, let me take you back to London, right? So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? So let me take you back to London. While we were at LNCC, right? You saw the interest in me. I want to bowl because I knew the guys were older. But But when you, even if you go away, right, and you come back to the team, I think McKay was the captain at the point. They'll still toss the ball to you, say, oh yeah, Oluba, Oshodi, go and do the bowling. But one thing though is that I really knew that me and you were not in the same category. You were ahead of me, really ahead of me. But one thing I see from your bowling and try to watch you bowl is the action. The bowling action was really good, even with, sorry to say this, even with your size, the action will always come out, and the thing will always do. Where did you get that education from?
A lot of places, really a lot of places. As a bowler, your action will evolve depending on the coaches. When I was a younger player, I used to try and copy Obo. Was Obo's son, Omogui, the former captain of Nigeria. I used to copy his bowling action. But it was, I think when my bowling action changed to what I still using now was when I was called to national camp in my SS2. And Mike Mario guy was making his comeback to the national team at that time. And Mario guy had not bowled. Biggie hadn't bowled in years, maybe 2 years or so. And Biggie was talking about, how the right action is, what to do, how you should bowl properly, keep your head steady, hand-eye coordination and all whatnot. And I just took it in. And when I started playing in Ireland and I was having difficulty with my bowling, I just switched back to that immediately. So you'd have a natural action starting up, but you would see a bowler that you really want to emulate and you would try and work your action. But the major thing about it really with my bowling at that time was just keeping my head steady, picking a point on the pitch and making sure my hand goes there. So there were a lot of people that contribute. Coach Ewa Henshaw used to keep us bowling at his stump for 3 hours in TBS as schoolboys. We would land TBS at 3 o'clock, we'll be bowling till 6.
Okay, fantastic. So it was a collection of seeing different people looking at different things that form that. So what we normally would do here is we pick a top 11, right? So we say you're going to pick your 11-man team, bowlers, batsmen, fielders, and all that. People that you've enjoyed playing cricket with, people that you think are the best cricketers you've ever seen, while you were growing up till this day. So we will start with your first three. Yeah, we will start with your first three. Then we ask questions. Then we go back again to the next three, and like that till we get to 11. Is it top three as a batsman? I start number 1 batting lineup, or am I going department by department? Anyhow, just feel free, do it the way you feel like.
Okay, so if I'm going to pick a number 1, so I would like to apologize to a lot of young people who may not make this list, but I'm thinking about all the years I've played. You see, it was like an argument we were having on the CCC group chat one time, and that's where the mistake you made on Odepii is you should have done a generational. So I played 2 generations. I played pre-2000 and I played post-2009. Yeah. So it's a very difficult one to ask.
Don't worry. People listen, Dele, somebody, right? I can't remember who the person was. When we started, he made mention of you. That meant he saw Dele Oshodi hitting the people all around the pitch. And I thought when I was going to name his top 11, I thought your name was going to be there, but your name wasn't there. So feel free, man.
No, okay. So really, if I'm going to pick a top 11, I look throughout my entire years playing.
So let's do the first 3. Yeah.
So my opening bat will be Demola Onikoi.
Okay.
My opening bat will be Demola Onikoi. My number 2 batsman will be Josh Ayonaike, because I've played with them. I've seen them play recently, and I've seen them play a lot. And not only they play for Greg's now, but those 2 are quite effective. They are very, very effective and destructive when they want to get in there. If I'm going to pick a number 3, I would have loved to pick maybe a Bayo Olugboṣere, but I'll pick a Wole Daudu in 1994 over Bayo Olugboṣere now, really. Because Wole had a very good temperament.
Fantastic. That's good. So we keep going. So next question is this. Guys, if you have questions, please ask your questions. I've learned how to pin your questions now. So if you ask the question, I'll pin it and we'll ask the question. So you mentioned St. Greg's just now. And I think the last time we did this, somebody talked about St. Greg's and what they're doing. I see you guys have started to look at us and try to form something similar to IMCC in the last couple of years. Well, I've watched you from the side. I've watched a team member of mine, Condotti, run around to start making sure that you guys are where you should be. So how did the conversations? How did it start? I know. St. Greg's a cricket playing school, and we respect that. But how did it start? What was the mission, and where are you guys going to?
Greg's is always the first team I played for in the CCC League was St. Gregory's College Old Boys, and that was they had been there donkey years, I think. But I played my first season in '96 with them. They had played '95 season. But what happened basically was, okay, it's a very, very, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll tell you as it is because everybody wants me to speak my mind here.
Yeah,
so I was vice captain.
Short story. Keep it short.
You will give me extra time. You're not serious. We will do extra time. So I was captain of FCC at the time. I was vice captain of FCC at the time, and there was a decision that was taken. At the time, I was kind of getting tired of the whole internal politics and not having certain freedoms and everything. So I decided I was going to go and play in the second team, or I was going to play. We had gotten relegated, so we were going to Division 2, and I wanted to have a young crop of players from FCC. So there was for FCC at the time. So when that happened, you had all these old guys, Dolapo Gafar, everybody now coming back to FCC2. And FCC2 was a team of young upcoming talents with a few older guys. So I just looked at it and said, listen, these young kids have to have an opportunity to play. These kids won't have an opportunity. There's no need for you having 25 players and you are only using the older ones and the younger ones are not playing. So I kind of left the club. When I left the club, Taiwo Ayekpe and this other guy from Stallions, Talabi, they came up to me and they said, listen, let's start Greg's Old Boys. And I said, listen, if we start, we're not going back, and this is how it's going to go. So I called a few of my guys from 94 sets. We spoke. We decided what we were going to be about, developing the game, spreading the game, bringing Gregorian ideals, giving a platform for old Gregorians to play the game effectively, and also looking at how we could help inner city kids develop. And that's how we went about it.
Wow, interesting. So did you have to get funding, or did you have to tax yourselves? How did that?
We've been taxing ourselves ever since. Basically, we sat down, we looked at everybody, and everybody was really honest about what their income streams were. And we said, it was like there was like a general consensus. We didn't vote. This is what you are paying. This is what you are paying. This is what you are paying. And anybody else that wants to chip in, chip in. But we gave ourselves a budget. This is our budget for the year. And this is what we try and stick to. We are not going to pay players above this amount. We are not about money. Do you get me? Yeah. We're about developing players. The whole idea was 3-4 years down the line from when we started, some of our players should be making an impact or knocking on national team doors. And that's what we did.
Wow, that's cool. So let's go back to your 11-man team. So next three.
Next three. So I've picked Sheon Dada. Oh no, Young Wale Daudu. So
Yeah.
my number four will be Sheon Dada. I've never till today I've not seen a Batman bat like that guy at that position. I'll pick Sheon Dada number 4. Number 5, I'll pick Femi John.
Who? Femi John.
Yeah, Femi John. That's my second student. Yeah.
Yeah, so number 5.
Number
5, that's
Femi
5.
John.
Number 6.
Number 5, Femi John. Number 6, now pick. I'm going to pick somebody because he's a bowler batsman in my own book. I first knew Sheon Odepii as a bowler before he became a bat. I knew he could bat. So number 6, I'll pick Sheon Odepii because of his batting and bowling.
Let's go back to our question. So there's a question here from Femi John. He says, what is your opinion in cricket administration in Lagos State? So when he says Lagos State, he's not talking about CCC. It's the Lagos State, the cricket board.
We are going to have extra time, sure you know.
I know what Femi John is doing. He's trying to.
No, Femi John is asking. That's why. If I was looking at the time and I was saying, if this guy wants me to be talking on this one for order, we go talk long for you, and we need to iron these things out quickly because. Listen.
Okay. Quick one. Let me just tell you the rules now. So
yeah.
in 4 minutes, what's going to happen is Instagram is going to time us out, right?
Yeah.
It has started already. It's going to time us out 25 seconds more. Then what we do is we go out, then we come back in.
No problem. Then the 1 hour starts.
No wahala.